Assalamu alaikum and welcome back again to our today's class. I hope you are well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also fine, Alhamdulillah. I am Munzur Kader, teacher of class 4, sector 7. Students, today we are going to learn letter. We will learn how to write a letter to a friend. And you know that you have to write a letter by following an unseen passage. In the question, an unseen passage will be given and you have to follow the 6 parts of a letter and you have to write a letter. And finally today we are going to learn letter whose lecture number 33. Before going to our main topic, let's see what we learned from previous class. Learning outcomes from previous lesson. From previous lesson, we learned about knowledge, understanding and application. 3 questions answer by reading the instructions. The techniques for writing those 3 questions answer. Now let's go to main topic. What is a letter? A letter is a written, typed or printed communication which we send in an envelope by post or messenger. Why do we write letters? We write letters to our friends and relatives to know about them. We write for sending and receiving information. We write letters to different institutes, organizations for seeking specific information, admission, and also for jobs. Kinds of letters. Now we will learn different types of letters. First of all, private or personal letters. Personal letters are those that relate to personal matters concerning the writer and the addressee. Next one, business or commercial letters. Business letters are those letters that are written to or by businessmen for business purpose. Official letters. Official letters are those letters that are written to or by persons in their official capacity. Social letters. Social letters are those that are written to invite persons to some ceremonial function, private or public. Letters to the press. Letters to the press are those that are written by the members of the public to the editors of newspapers on matters of public interest. The form of a letter. Now we will learn the parts of a letter. First of all, heading or the writer's address and the date. This is the A number parts. And what is the position? Position is right side top of the page. Right side top of the page you have to write down heading or the writer's address and the date. At first you have to write down address, below you will write down the date. B. Greeting or salutation. In greeting and salutation, this position is left side top of the page, but it is below the heading but left side of the page. You have to write down this. C. Body of the letter. This is very important part, body of the letter. You know, body of the letter, here you will write down 6 or like these sentences you have to write by following unseen passages. Actually, in the question paper, it will be mentioned how many sentences you have to write. According to the question, you have to write down those sentences in the main part of the body of the letter. And body of the letter, there are 3 parts. First of all, you have to write down introductory sentences. Then you have to write down main sentences or main topic related sentences by following unseen passages. And last part, it's called ending sentences, or you can also tell it concluding sentences. Here you can write 2 or 3 sentences at least. Then D, closing. It's another name, subscription. Closing or subscription. And what is the position? Position is bottom of the page but right side. Right side, bottom of the page, you have to write down closing or subscription. And later on, I will show you in the 5 parts of the letter what you have to write. Okay. And last one, signature. Signature, that means the writer's name. Here you have to write down. You can tell writer's name or sender's name you can write. And the writer's name and the receiver's name will be mentioned in the question paper. You have to follow the question and you have to write down receiver's name and the writer's name properly. And later on, I will show you all the parts of the letters and what type of sentences or words you have to write. Now, last part of the letter. Its name is superscription or envelope or outside address. For this, you have to draw a box with pencil and top of the corner of the receiver's address you have to write down stamp. And left side you have to write down the writer's address. In writer's address you have to write from, then comma, then sender's name or the writer's name, house number, road, sector, police station, district. And receiver's address, here you have to write down to, then comma, then a receiver's name, then a village, then post office, then police station, and finally you have to write down district name. In this way you have to write down all the informations. Total parts of a letter. So from the example given above, it will be seen that a letter has 6 parts. Okay? Now we will see the forms of salutation. To relatives and very intimate friends. To relatives and very intimate friends, we can write this type of salutation. What are they? My dear father, my dear mother, dear Shumon, like this. To less familiar friend. Here we can write my dear Mr. Korim, my dear Hashim Ali, like this. To strangers and superiors. Here you can write this type of salutation. Sir, dear sir, madam, dear madam. So these are the salutation, and we can write by following what type of relatives or friends they are. The forms of superscription. To relatives and very intimate friends, we can write this type of superscription. What are they? Your affectionate son or father or friend, yours affectionately, yours ever, ever yours. These are the superscription we can write if they are relatives or very intimate friends. To friends, generally what type of superscription we can write to our friends? Let's see. Yours sincerely, sincerely yours. Then to superiors. To superiors, what type of superscription what we can write? We can write yours obediently. We can write yours obediently. Then to strangers and business firms. Here we can write yours faithfully, yours truly, truly yours. These are the superscription we can write. Points to note in letter writing. Dear students, you have to point to note at the time of writing a letter. Sometimes you do mistake. Sometimes mistakes done here. So let's see. In salutation, after salutation you have to use comma. Remember it. After salutation you have to use comma, not exclamation mark. Sometimes students use exclamation mark after salutation or greeting. Be very careful. After salutation you have to use comma. Then subscription. In subscription you will not use apostrophe at the time of writing yours. At the time of writing yours, you cannot use apostrophe. Rather, you have to use comma at the end of superscription or closing. So later on, I will show it. Now, sample question. So what type of question will come in exam time? Let's see. Question may come in this way. Suppose you are Ruman or Rumana and your friend is Rana or Rani who lives in Chattogram. Write a letter to your friend about your daily food habit. This is the question. This type of question will come in exam time. Writing process. Now we will see how can we write a complete letter by following all the 6 parts of a letter. Number 1, we have already learned that first part is heading or the writer's address and the date. So here at first you have to write down address and below you have to write down date. So address, if I write in this way, house number 9, road 10, sector 11, Uttara, Dhaka, 12:30. This is the address. And 24th May 2021. This is the date. So after address you have to write down date. This is 1 number part. 2 number part, we have already learned 2 number part is called greeting or salutation. So let's see what we can write in greeting or salutation. Greeting or salutation, we have to write my dear and the receiver's name you have to write. According to the question, here receiver's name is Rana or Rani. So any one name you have to write. And after greeting you have to, at the end of the greeting you have to use comma. So it will be my dear Rana, then comma. Then body of the letter. I have already told you that body of the letter we have to write three parts. So first one is introductory sentences. So we can write introductory sentences like this. These sentences are written for you. Okay, let's see what are the sentences. Thank you for your letter and I'm happy to know that you are fine. I'm also fine. In your last letter, you wanted to know about my daily food habit. Now, I'm writing to you about it. These are the sentences you can memorize and you can write the same sentences in any letter. But you just only changed the topic. So what is the topic here? My daily food habit. If the question come in this way, write about your father or mother or your country, then you will change only topic. Where you have to change? About my country, about my father, about my mother. Here it will be changed only, and rest of the sentences will be same. Okay, so these are the introductory sentences. Then second part, this is the main sentences or main idea, you can say. And here, according to the question, you have to write down 6 or like these sentences. It will be mentioned in the question paper how many sentences you have to write. According to the question, you have to write down those sentences. So second part, here you have to follow unseen passages and you have to write down those 6 sentences, because you know that at the time of writing unseen passages will be given. Okay, so you have to follow unseen passages and you have to write down sentences. And then third part, it is concluding sentences, or you can tell conclusion. So what type of sentences we can write? Let's see. No more today. Give my salam to your parents and love to the youngers. Write me soon. So these are the sentences you can write in conclusion. Okay, and you can memorize these sentences and you can use the same sentences in any letter. Now 4 number part we have learned, it is closing or subscription. So in closing, what can we write? We can write your loving friend, and after closing you have to use comma. And position where? Right side bottom of the page you have to write down closing. And then the writer's name or the sender's name, or you can also tell signature. So where you have to write down? Below closing you have to write down this. So here you have to write down Ruman. According to the question, here the writer's name is Ruman or Rumana. So you have to write one name. Okay, any one name you have to write. Now last part or 6 number part, it's what? Superscription or envelope or outside address. So here at first you have to draw a box with pencil, then you have to write down stamp and the receiver's address portion, top of the right side right side corner of the receiver's address you have to write down stamp. Then left side you have to write down the writer's address, writer's full address you have to write down, complete address you have to write down. At first you have to write down from, then comma, then you have to write down the writer's name, then house 9, then road 10, then sector 11, then Uttara Dhaka 1230. These are the complete address of the senders. And then receiver's address. In receiver's address you have to write down to, then comma, then receiver's name Ruman, then village Hazrabari, then post office Fulkocha, then police station Agrabad, district Chattogram. In this way you have to write down complete address. If you write incomplete address, your mark will be cut. So be very careful at the time of writing receiver's address and sender's address. And you must draw box at the time of writing the address. So let's see what we learned from today's lesson. From this class we have learned about parts of a letter, position of the parts of the letter, process of writing a letter. Homework. Learn the given lesson from a letter. This is the homework. You will learn from the given letter. Dear students, today's class is up to this. If you have any confusion or any hesitation, you can ask question in Zoom class. So, all of you try to be safe, try to be good at home. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.